Everywhere we look, we see the effects of fossil fuels. In fact, it's almost impossible to find something that hasn't been touched by them in some way. From production to transportation, everything we use in our day-to-day lives is an example of our dependence on fossil fuels. This dependence, however, is very quickly becoming dangerous. They're dirty forms of energy, releasing large amounts of carbon dioxide when they're burned. Supplies are limited, and we're consuming them at an alarming rate. In the last 150 to 200 years, we've used up a huge amount of what took millions of years to create. With consumption increasing rapidly, an alternative is needed desperately. Enter hydrogen. Hydrogen fuel cells could be just the answer we need. From powering vehicles to providing electricity to homes, hydrogen fuel has the potential to change the way we think about energy. Hydrogen fuel cells are a form of battery. They utilize hydrogen to produce electricity, and hydrogen fuel cells are the wave of the future. Hydrogen fuel cells have the potential to be an irreplaceable alternative to fossil fuels. When hydrogen fuel cells generate power, they do not release harmful emissions into the environment. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, hydrogen cells use a chemical reaction rather than combustion. This releases nothing but heat and water. Water that is so clean that NASA astronauts are able to collect the water produced by their hydrogen fuel cell powered electronic system and use it for drinking. Though the primary way to produce hydrogen is natural gas reforming, the need for fossil fuels in hydrogen production can be significantly reduced. Several methods of hydrogen production are nearly completely sustainable. Wind, solar, and geothermal energy can be harnessed to produce the needed hydrogen. One of the most promising, however, is the use of biomass. Biomass gasification, biomass-derived liquid reforming, and microbial biomass conversion all utilize biomass or organic materials. Biomass removes carbon dioxide from the air, making an extremely environmentally friendly source for energy. Hydrogen is also a primary source of energy is still in its infancy. From an economic standpoint, this can be seen as an infinite horizon of opportunity. The hydrogen fuel industry has the potential to have a huge impact on the economy. Currently, hydrogen fuel consumption is low. There's a lot of research and testing needed. Because of this, the potential for new job opportunities is growing. There are many different ways to manufacture hydrogen. Each of these methods requires research and development. Scientists and engineers are needed to further streamline these processes. Economists are needed to work with them to help find ways of reducing costs of production and make hydrogen as affordable as oil. Production is just one branch of the hydrogen industry. Transportation, storage, and distribution are all important links in the chain. Each of these links represents the promise of jobs. Each of these businesses also represent tax income for the economy as well. As hydrogen production becomes more efficient, facilities will need to be built for consumers to obtain their hydrogen. The need for these, as well as storage facilities and production facilities, will require the use of construction companies. The more people that are employed, the more the economy will be stimulated.
Hydrogen fuel allows more travel at a much lower opportunity cost and connects the world without endangering the environment. People can feel good about what they are doing to help reduce fossil fuel emissions. An easy way to help the environment without having to sacrifice much. Inspiration of more ways to create sustainable energy sources is the production of FCEVs, fuel cell electric vehicles. Automakers are planning to introduce FCEVs with customers into the early commercial market in 2015 to 2017 timeframe. By 2020, automakers expect to place tens of thousands of fuel cell electric vehicles in the hands of California consumers. Today, about 300 FCEVs have been placed on California's roads and fill up at public and private hydrogen stations in the state. Some FCEV automakers include Ford, General Motors, Honda, Hyundai, Mercedes-Benz, Nissan, and Toyota. To the average Californian, must assume that driving FCEV is too expensive because current leasing packages for FCEVs include fuel, service, and maintenance, physical damage insurance, in addition to all of the other perks and benefits you get from driving an FCEV. FCEV drivers have access to hydrogen fueling stations around the state, but drivers are not paying for the fuel based on the amount dispensed. The cost of providing fuel is packaged as an add-on in vehicle lease agreements. With technology, we can create a hydrogen fuel-based world. Hydrogen fuel and the technology resources that we have today throughout the globe can help us build a more affordable economy after initial conversion and create new jobs in markets and industries. Hydrogen fuel is a sustainable, renewable resource, and with the many ways to produce hydrogen fuel, it is allowing more expansion more expansion of the economy. Hydrogen fuel can create a healthy and clean environment because hydrogen fuel produces clean emissions. NASA uses hydrogen fuel cells to power rockets and astronauts drink the water. There is no negative impact to the environment. Hydrogen fuel reduces dependence on fossil fuels, and oil companies could make the switch to hydrogen fuel cells. No need for costly mining and transportation of fossil fuels. And as for society, hydrogen fuel allows more travel at a much lower opportunity cost and connects the world without endangering the environment. People can feel good about what they are doing to help reduce fossil fuel emissions. This is an easy way to help the environment without having to sacrifice much.